Assalamualaikum and good greetings. So today I'll be watching a video by Open-Minded Christian Show titled Exposing Lies of a Fake Christian YouTuber Against Islam. I'm not really sure what this is all about. Interested to know, of course, as usual. So without further ado, let's watch.
Minded Satanist, I have no respect for you because you
None.
claim to be a Catholic and you went to Catholic seminary, and if you don't know the answers to these questions, you truly are filled with the devil, like Muhammad is filled with the devil, but Muhammad is burning in hell. There's hope for you to repent because your arguments are pathetic. Because if you're really looking for answers, on my channel, William's channel, and the channels of people like Anthony Rogers, we've thoroughly refuted the misunderstanding, misinterpretation of these passages. May he repent. If not, may the Lord silence him through the hands of his servants. And I pray we are two of his servants.
I want to use this video to address that statement you just watched now from Shamoun and Mr. William. It was an epic.
Now, so I'm quite lost at what was being discussed there. I can capture some of what Sam Shamoun said, right? But I do not know the background of what's the argument that lead to that what was spoken there.
Big showdown between yours faithfully and these two Christian YouTubers. Well, Shamoun.
So they have a debate or discussion or something before? I'm interested to see that one.
And Williams, great gentlemen. I must acknowledge that these guys are intelligent, but they're essentially deceptive and unscrupulously dishonest. They have refused to tell their followers the real truth about the inconsistencies in the Christian faith. So I desire that they should be humble when it comes to talking about inconsistencies in other faith. Do you want to talk about the killings in the Bible, the dark histories of the church division in Christendom, the deliberate adaptation of the Christian faith to suit ancient paganism? Come on, these gentlemen honestly has no genuine arguments beyond emotional generalization and outright intellectual mischievousness. I watched as they advanced their theological premises on the question of the divinity of Jesus Christ in the last video. I watched every bit of that video. It was over 1 hour 30 minutes, and that sounded so ordinary and within the facts, with complete philosophical generalization, a very faulty foundation that immediately revealed their lies. Yes, when they were talking, you would actually glean that they were not being honest. Now, if I understood this gentleman very well, they meant to adduce that Jesus was both man and God. That's very problematic. So was Jesus a man-bearing God or God-bearing man? Because these extreme poles may actually lay a number of other answers which competed furiously through the first Christian centuries. But even with the arguments, Christians like Shamoun and Williams, who accept the basic concept, probably could not explain to me in the precision that early Christian councils would actually demand about how Jesus Christ is both God and both man. They were just ranting. Now, for the purpose of this video, I would love to advance the arguments of areas, first to drive home a valid point. For clarity purpose, I am not in any way in support of the position of this, 3rd century Syriac presbyter and ascetic, and of course he's a priest but known for the doctrine of Arianism. I'm only interested in his argument, which for me, just like in the mind of the great Origin, is essential for the purposes of this video. Arius emphasized God the Father's uniqueness and Christ's subordination under the Father, a position I had maintained in all my works, but Williams and Shamoun were patrons of Sabialism In fact, they have fallen into that heresy because of their blindness to the truth. The truth that if the Father begot the Son, he that was begotten had a beginning of existence, and from this it is evident that there was a time when the Son was not. It therefore necessarily follows that the Son had his substance from nothing. I hope you understand what I mean. Now, in fact, he was a
Okay, yeah. I understand what he tried to say based on that basis, right? I think I understand. My question to Christian is, just to clarify if this is presented correctly, that when because Jesus is always referred to as the begotten Son, right? I mean, I'm not sure how Christians understand that word, but it is written as such, right, in the Bible, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that refers to when Jesus was born from Mary on this earth, or meaning in the triune God there, Jesus was begotten in that form. Because if I understand this argument correctly, it is in that form, in the divine form. Jesus was begotten by the Father, right? Am I get it right, or?
firstborn of all creation. But to actually prove that, let's read the book of Colossians 1 verse 15 to 17. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. If you read from verse 16, say, for by him all things were created in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authority. All things were created through him and for him. And finally, if you read from verse 17, it says, and he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. I know that we'll quickly dismiss this, but help me consider the fact that Arius himself was influenced by the writings of Lucian of Antioch, a celebrated Christian writer and of course a martyr. Did you know that church authority at that time didn't condemn or excommunicate Arius before the First Ecumenical Council of Nicaea? Come on, give me a break, Shamounian. Did you know that a bishop as learned as the Patriarch of Alexander of Constantinople was reluctant to act? Did you also know that until the 7th century, Arianism was paramount or practiced in different parts of Germany and other parts of Europe until wars were levied by Trinitarians on the people who had the faith for them to submit, and they did submit. Well, maybe you gentlemen don't know about that. I have a little advice for this man. Please be humble and always acknowledge that the fact that Christianity isn't as clean as you think. Even the Bible, you rush to always make your points clear, is riddled with confusion and contradictions. The Catholic Church itself does not see the Bible as the only arbiter of truth. The role of tradition and magisterium have not been dished away. So stay humble. I advise you, stay humble. Staying humble would help you to learn more, and I think I'm in a good position to teach you. Apparently, I have an assignment for both of you. What would you call the genocide of Deuteronomy chapter 20 verse 16 to 18? In Joshua chapter 6 verse 20 to 21, 2 Samuel 24, and Exodus 35 verse 2. Well, I need answers to that. Until next time.
Okay, interesting. Now, I have to admit that the historical discussion there is beyond me. I do not know those figures, Arius and those guys there. But the discussion about that core belief of Christianity has always seemed so puzzling to me, to be honest, right? It's like, why is this so complicated, right? Yeah, perhaps because as a Muslim, the belief is simple and logical and rational, right? So it's easy to understand and grasp. This is so complex. Anyway, so that's my opinion, and that's my honest reaction to this. Even though I have to admit many of what he said I do not understand. I'm not saying that he didn't deliver it good enough. I'm just saying I do not have the background to even put in place some of those points, right? Interested to know if there's actually the recording of the whole interaction between them, and what did they discuss. Yeah, although at this moment I'm not sure whether I can find the time to watch it, considering the semester have started and the schedule is so jam-packed. Anyway, until next time,